Here we go. Okay, guys, welcome to our Rockstar Presenters team call. It is Thursday, October 26th, and I could not be more excited. As I was just sharing, being a mom of four myself, I know that daily sunshine is a must-have in my household, and I could not be more grateful to Isabelle for coming up with this and making it as wonderful and perfect as it truly is. I know my oldest is 13, and it's, oh man, those years are tough. You know, we're starting to lose a little bit more control about what he's eating outside of our
Oh,
household.
yeah.
So it's great to know, that's a requirement for him every day. And it's not something that he groans and moans about. You know, he's found that he likes to throw some frozen mango chunks in there and make it thick. And for him, it's kind of like an ice cream treat. Our second is a competitive gymnast and is at the gym 16 hours a week. So daily sunshine again. He was okay with drinking Shakeology, but he's way more excited about the strawberry banana daily sunshine. That's been a nice fill for him. And then
That's good.
yeah, and then a 5-year-old and an almost 2-year-old, but who of course they have their opinions about what they think they need to be
Which
eating.
is great.
Yeah, it starts with C and ends with arbs. That's all they want, carbs, all day long. So we are just so excited to hear from you, Isabelle. And really and truly, I would love to hear straight from you just to get started. Why did you come up with daily sunshine? You know, so many of us were, as coaches, kind of, giving our kids Shakeology and doing that. So what kind of inspired you to go this route?
Many things, because it's been, I've been actively every once in a while asking if I could get the green light on it for at least 5 years, at least. So I've been actively living situations where I needed it. So a lot of the products that I co-create with Darren or the ones that I do on my own always usually come from a place where I need it. It's something I would like to have, and if it's not around, then perhaps I can create it. And then I have to wait for Carl to give me the green light. So the daily sunshine, well, there's several things actually. I remember that a long time ago, people were very excited. Carl started reading online that people were doing 3-day Shakeology. I forgot the name they called it,
It was a cleanse.
I couldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Think about the word cleanse, because Shakeology is not designed for that kind of cleanse. So Carl was excited because he thought people are getting great results. It's working great. They feel quite satiated. And I was like, that's not okay. And this is how the 3-day refresh came about. So let me design something then that will be exactly for that purpose, a 3-day quick cleanse. And the Shakeology is kind of the same thing. Yes, it works, and everything about it is good, but many pediatricians don't know most of the elements in the Shakeology, so therefore we don't get green lights from these guys at times. Many kids don't really like the taste, so you put stuff in it and then you make it and they drink only this much, so they don't really get the full benefits of the shake. It has exotic adaptogen herbs that parents may feel weird about giving too much, depending on their belief system. So I was running into conflicts of opinions, which was not productive for the kids. And so I wanted to make something super simple with a very clear purpose, the foundation, the building blocks of health for kids 4 years old and up. The very basic things that every mother on earth wants to see their kids eat. And most mother on earth has to fight teeth and nails to get it down their throats. So I wanted to provide a snack-like smoothie that would be delicious. It was very important, and kids loved it as much as I could make that happen with our team. And that had everything you could dream of, so that if nothing else in the day, you had that. If nothing else, You had a full serving of fruit and vegetable. You had the healthy fats that are so crucial, that are starting to get their due. People are starting to recognize how good it is for them. So this evil fat thingy, all fats are bad, is finally out. And so healthy fats, especially for growing bodies, a good dose of protein, fiber, antioxidants, vitamin D, prebiotic, enzymes. It was like, just, I was thinking, what is it that we all will agree on? But we all, for some reason, what is the deal with kids? Why can't they like it? If they need it so much, what is happening in the cross-wiring of their beingness that they make it so hard? So I also wanted to provide mother with a tool where not 20 minutes would go by, you just nagging and nagging and nagging for them to eat. Take a bite of your broccoli. Take a bite of your broccoli. Honey, have you taken a bite of... Yeah. Aren't you tired of nagging at times? And you don't want to nag, and so you work on that, but all that stuff. So I thought it'd be so great if they could sit down and their kids having a lovely time, enjoying a lovely smoothie. The mother can talk about something else and eat the next bite. Talk about school, talk about whatever. Just fun, casual, easygoing time with your kids, which is challenging to get when there's so many things that they have to do or you have to teach them. But quality time with your kids, nothing time when you don't have any agenda. You're just enjoying them and they feel enjoyed.
Yeah,
I think it's as important as the fruit and vegetables. And so if I could combine that, that was my sort of internal goal.
yeah.
Can't market that, but I think they should.
Oh, yes, you can.
Right?
You just did.
Well, they have to pick a thing. I'm not a marketing genius at all. So when I say, but mothers multitask and they think about a zillion things at the same time, you can totally market to many different aspects of how that, but there are so many, they said, no. But it's not my job. So I step aside, I let them do their thing. Carl did just fine without me for many years. So I'm not going to tell him how to do his job. But that was it. It was really the thing they fundamentally need to be healthy, growing bodies. Also, I was hoping that parents would have discussions about what is in the shake, why it's good for them, and also make sure that they associate eating healthy with yummy. Because in our generation, eating healthy was bleh. But there have many options now, even snacks out there, food. There's a lot of good cooks that have learned to cook healthy, and yet it's delicious. So that was also the goal, that they would look at the ingredients, teach them to look at the ingredients, talk about what these ingredients are all about, why is it good for them, make it, even the making of it. I wanted a cup that they could shake it themselves, the size of their hands, with a little cup underneath to drink from if they want, or they can put the powder in there. I wanted to just pour cold water or cold milk, any milk you want. I want it to be a cold drink because it makes it really yummy right away. But I want it to be delicious, the way kids like it, slightly sweeter, just with cold liquids. No need to dress it up like Shakeology. So really focused on their needs and their taste buds, and hopefully get them engaged in making their own healthy drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my kids have had a lot of fun playing with recipes themselves as well. I mean, they love it plain too, but they also like thinking that they're fancy, trying out different things, which is fun. So talk to me, and I know that this is really kind of a loaded question, but and you kind of already answered it, but why specifically do you think that kids, and you really did, but why kids, and then even adults, because I know, at Summit you had spoken a little bit about adults being able to use it as a snack, and Carl is one to say, so you are too. So talk to me a little bit about that, the why someone would choose that as a snack, or an option to add in for themselves or for their children.
I'll focus with the kids, and then I'll just talk about the adults a little bit. Although everything we say, everything Darren and I say, well, I'll just speak for myself. It's usually true for everything. Like my story is my story is my story. What I feel is crucial to our well-being is what I feel. Whatever product we co-create in the ultimate line, Darren and I, if you look at it carefully, it's usually the foundation is always the same: whole food, pure, bioavailable, balanced, and some ingredients that are lacking in our diet nowadays. So that's the foundation of the smoothie, the daily sunshine for kids, what they need, and the bioavailable, clean addition of vitamins was what, through our research, what we discovered was greatly lacking in kids. We could not believe how little they had of very crucial vitamins for their well-being. So we added those as well. And I was thinking also, if people have a problem with buying those extra vitamins for their kids, they don't have to. It's in a daily sunshine in very good pure form, so very bioavailable. What cinched it for me is I have a kid who's got many sensitivities and a few allergies. Completely allergic to soy and to dairy, and sensitivities to gluten. Allergic when he was younger, but I avoided for many, many years, and I was boosting his immune system. So now it's not such an allergy anymore. He can have some of gluten sometimes and be okay, but it's a sensitivities. That's the difference between allergies and sensitivities. So what happened is I really had a hard time, and he's a really picky eater. I started shopping and looking around for snacks, like anything in health food stores, and we're spoiled here in California. Whole food, everywhere you can think of. And even the healthy version, mostly sort of nuts-based, I always talk about that, was also loaded with natural sugar. Mm-hmm. Some of it was sugar, some of it was natural sugar, but a lot of it, like honey. So it's like 30 to 35 grams of sugar, easy, also quite dense, even for my tummy, too dense. If it's only flax seeds and chia seeds and nuts and sugar, like honey, it's intense on their tummy to digest. And I'm a little, that's what I do for a living. So I know that soaking nuts is very important. So, of course, when I was looking for those snacks, I was like, none of them are soaking them. So Carl rolls his eyes when he sees me say those things, like, what do you mean soaking them? Well, it makes it much more easily digestible when you soak nuts. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything that was balanced, anything that provided the elements that my son didn't want to have. And even the super healthy ones were really just sugary, meaning that it was a healthy version of super sweet, but just always in balance. I like balance in my nutrition. And by balance, I mean the elements that I did put in the sunshine. Yeah. So, everything is not too much. It doesn't overshadow the other ingredients, so that it's not such a heavy load in whatever digestive part of your system is involved. So, for so many reasons like that, or pure preservative, or, natural and artificial flavor, like stevia and sweet and low. I had to deal with elements that I was just not happy about at all. Yeah. So that's why I wanted it. I was like, God, I want something that there's nothing in it that bothers me, nothing. Right. And I'm intimately involved in the process of our products. So of course I feel super safe because I'm overseeing everything. So I knew exactly what this was all about, what was in it, our vendors, our suppliers, our processing. So that's why. It's because if me in California, where we're so spoiled, couldn't find it, oh my God, like I was thinking of all of you guys. It'd be so hard. So that's the reason. It's a need, and it's very difficult nowadays to feed our kids healthy stuff. It just is, in terms of availability, quality, but also in terms of what they're being fed. They watch cartoon. It's constantly loaded with these commercials with everything that's terrible. And of course, the kids are always happy after eating the thing, and the kids want it, and it's hard. And then they go to school, and there's all sorts of other stuff in there that's not great, and you don't want to be the constant no, 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 no. And so you compromise because you want their sanity as well. And I also don't think it's good for kids to grow up feeling so unsafe, thinking that the world out there is bad. And, you don't want them to be that way either.
Right.
So that was a no-brainer for me, the Daily Sunshine. Those were some of the reasons.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And again, so grateful because my neck will be sore tomorrow. I keep nodding my head, but you're spot on with all of that.
And also, may I add, I think it's in the video. I answered 10 questions on a video, but I run into that all the time. And I also have to talk about parents. But very often, especially now, we had a heat wave here in California, Malibu, and he's not hungry. Like, it's so hot, like 100 degrees. Yeah. He's not hungry. He just eats so little, some avocado, some fruits. And so again, Daily Sunshine to the rescue. Yeah. I needed some protein. He was lethargic, but he wanted something cold and, all that. And then here's another situation when the shake came in handy. Or he doesn't eat a good dinner. He's not hungry. And then it's 20 minutes before bedtime. Now he's hungry. I don't want him to go to bed on an empty stomach, but I don't want him to have a full stomach. I don't want him to have all carbs. I don't want to start fighting at 7:45 about eating his asparagus. So Daily Sunshine. Yeah. I live these moments all the time. So I'm a living proof of how much it's helping me. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't do without. Of course you can. But I'm saying that's a tool that I wanted, that is simplifying my life, that makes me feel safe. They're having a good time. They love it. And why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually something you said while you were answering that kind of brings me to, the next question, which is the significance of all of the certifications that are on Daily Sunshine. Can you talk to us a little bit about just, I guess, really the significance of them and what they kind of mean for you and for us as consumers?
Well, first of all, now that my kid has all these allergies, so I needed it. And if I'm going to work a year and a half or so on a product, if my kid can't have it, that would piss me off. So those were important to me. But I have to say that parents for 5 years plus have asked me for all these certifications because we have more and more kids with allergies and sensitivities. I'm not going to get into that rabbit hole, but there's a lot more than we used to hear about 25 years ago. So parents really needed it. And also because it provided safety. It provided a sense of safety for parents who, like with the Shakeology, we do the same process. It's the same we do as much as we can, the same vendors, the same suppliers, same equipment, same sanitization, cleaning process, same testing every batch, same quality assurance, safety, toxicity assurance, same team. But because the Shakeology has 60 plus ingredients, it is so difficult to get every single one of them organic. It's just, every time we can, we do. But, we talk about that in the other videos that are about Shakeology, that, we have ingredients from very exotic place, Peru, out there in the mountains, and where organic, they've been doing and working their soil and growing their products in a certain way for hundreds of years, from family, from generation to generation. So it's a heck of a deal to change that process with them. They don't even speak English often. And also it would add cost to them. And we do love sustainability. We love to help people, our farmers, the people that grow these ingredients for us. So that's not a fun thing for them to have extra cost on their lands and extra cost automatically on us, because they would have to sell it more expensive than, of course, on you. So, but with the Daily Sunshine, I could give parents that safety, that assurance of the stamps, because it's a simple formula. We don't have a zillion ingredients. So I could afford to pay for the stamps for every single one of those ingredients. So that was an important aspect of the Daily Sunshine as well. So adults and special kids, special needs, I work with a lot of them in my one-on-one practice. I love them. They're precious. I know a lot of them, and it's very difficult. Eating is a very difficult thing with these kids. They have a sense of touching, how things feel in their mouth or smell. So in the back of my head, I always thought of them as well. Wouldn't it be amazing if I could help these parents deal with that in their kids, and they need it so much. And I've had dozens and dozens of videos of many special needs kids that are loving the Daily Sunshine. That is just the best. So I'm very happy that I can provide that in the way that I can. And also, parents, it's funny, parents have a really sweet tooth as well. Parents need a lot more veggies and fiber than they often take in. And we're working on that at Beachbody, right? We have our platform, we have our recipes, we have Autumn and her brother. And so we do the best that we can. Most program comes with recipes and a diet, program protocol for each of these kind of workouts. So we do the best as we can with that too. But I know that many parents do crave something sweet in the middle of the day. And if they don't reach for that, they reach for coffee or something sweet. So I've noticed that many, many parents are starting to drink Daily Sunshine.
Yeah, have you been spying on me every afternoon?
Yeah,
right?
have you been spying on me?
To say right around 2:00 every afternoon, I'm like looking over at the coffee machine, kind of eyeing up the pantry, thinking like, what could I do here?
Well, it's fantastic for us too to have a treat
Yes.
like that, and that it's simple. And I have to say, like, I crave that more a second time, not the Shakeology twice. I crave the Daily Sunshine now because it's a little sweeter. Mm-hmm. It really does satiate that part of me, and it is loaded with very basic elements, but it's loaded with it. Mm-hmm. So it's very satiating. I've seen most parents end up drinking it.
Yeah. And I love to, on the container count for those, that do use containers and are doing, anything with a portion fix. It's half a red, half a purple, and half a green, which is really fabulous because it does leave room to expound on if you like. If you wanted to make it a full purple, you could add that half of a fruit, to it.
Thanks to Paul, by the way, because I know that in terms of Darren and I for the Shakeology, we don't care about calories.
Right.
And we were just making it dense as possible. I mean, there's many versions of the Shakeology, like dozen of, if not more, of different kind of Shakeology until we settle on one type. And Carl was like, no, you don't understand. They have programs and stuff. You can't just go crazy. And it was so hard for Darren and I to like, okay, we have to think in terms of calorie as well. And the Daily Sunshine Carl said, please make it that it works for snacks and it works for the container. So that everybody could use it. So that's my husband.
Interesting. So talk to us. I know, I'm just kidding. I said, talk about the 12 that are sitting there on the shelf. I'm kidding. I know you can't. That's fun though. No, but it is nice. I mean, to have a little bit of flexibility with it, to eat it as a really light and simple snack, or as, you really can have flexibility to bulk it up.
Yes. Oh yes.
And
it's already so sweet that if you just add ice and half an avocado, oh my God. Mm-hmm. It's like Dairy Queen, right?
Oh, it is. It's like ice cream. That's, again, my oldest loves to eat it with a spoon. It is rich and creamy. So I wanted to just see, I just have two folks on here that wanted to ask questions. And I know Bridget and her little guy have a question that they wanted to ask. She can't unmute herself. So Bridget, I'm going to unmute you. Oh, you're good? She goes, I didn't have one. And then there was Jackie. Had
I
a,
wish you could see their faces.
let's see. Can you see Jackie? Jackie, you're unmuted.
Yes, I think with their green hat.
Oh, that was Bridget. We're
Oh,
Jackie blue shirt. Can you wave,
Oh, like,
Jackie? There you
hi.
go.
oh, hi.
How are you?
What a beautiful face.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's a little sweaty right now.
It's good.
So, so you talked about how complicated it was, or how complicated it is to get some of the Shakeology things certified. Can you talk a little bit more about that process? Because a lot of people ask me about that.
Well, I think if you guys drink the Shakeology, you know that we've gotten the matcha green tea, the our mushroom shaga, which both of them are organic. There's several elements in there now that are organic. One of the challenges we have, besides the things that I've just mentioned, it's hard because I have to talk to the little hole when I want to look at your face. One of the challenges we encounter, it's also bulk volume. So if we go into a facility, we have to make sure that they can utilize the whole facility for us. Now, you can't guarantee a facility to stay just with you, right? So at some point, they may come in. I'm just giving you like scenarios. At some point, they may come in they don't have to tell us, and start producing for another company something with gluten. And they can. So that means that right there, poof, we would have to figure out another facilities. We have to test, screen them, which sometimes takes us a year. We have to make sure they can process as much as we need. And we have monthly delivery. That alone is a scenario that would be hellish for us and for you. There's many aspects like that of the Shakeology, beside also what we said is that to retrain these people that have been doing what they do for hundreds of years is a heck of a thing. So we have to put the brakes on. It would have to be more expensive. We already get criticized all the time about the price. You guys have a hard time because you have to deal with the price issue. So needing to make it more expensive is another thing. We're like, we do. And we also know that it doesn't assure that the quality would be better. It doesn't. Because we do get, and we do test, and that's one of the other obstacle we have in getting organic, is we do test some organic products, and they're really not that great. They're certainly not as good as what we get, because we have this protocol of testing, because we have our own suits here doing it with us, for us. So we test much more often than is required for big agencies, because they wouldn't be able to. So, but we can. So very often we get organic, we don't really like the quality. It's good enough for organic, not good enough for us, because there's other aspect of an ingredient that you have to look for in order to be happy with the quality and the potency of it and the actives in it. So you have to make sure that all these elements are together with the stamp. So you don't want to have the stamp at the cost of other things that are important. So that's just a few of the challenges we are encountering. Does that mean that we don't want to the best of our ability? Of course we can. We are constantly working in the back. You know, we work for years before something can be done, before we can start discussing with you guys. Can somebody mute them, because I hear several voices?
I hear a man too, and I don't know where it's coming from because everybody is muted. And there's no man. So
is God here?
Yeah, I think he's intervening. I'm sorry.
Did I make sense to you that that those are just a few, and just a few, I'm not kidding. There's a lot going on in the back of that bag. And so those are the challenges we have, and we have a monthly delivery system that we have to honor. So when there's a change required, which very often we have to change things. Sometimes we do get a product that was fantastic for 6 months or a year, and suddenly, because we are so rigorous with our testing protocol, suddenly it's just not what it's used to be. Something changed, and we don't get answer, or we get an answer that's not satisfying and they don't want to change. So we have to change. We have to move on. That's why sometimes you'll see a change in the bag, because we have to figure out how to compensate for this ingredient now that is not in the bag anymore, because we have to enhance something else to get the same benefit through another ingredient while we look for what is not up to par anymore. So we are dealing with these things all the time. This is why it's so difficult with 60 plus ingredients in Shakeology, which is something I don't have with the Daily Sunshine.
That actually reminded me, Isabelle.
Did I answer her question? Is she happy? Because I don't see her anymore.
Yep, she's nodding her head and thumbs up, she says.
Good.
So talk to me about going to the UK with these products. Were there any changes or hurdles with either product? And if so, could you?
It was hell. Now, I wish I had Mike, because Mike and our R&D team are really the one who dealt with that much more than Darren and I. Of course, they had to come to us, discuss it, and get our approval. But they went through that. Now, I'm just going to go over an overview of it. So first of all, you know that the elements in the back, the ratio, the benefits, the constituents, all of that is the same as the one we have here in the US. But how we get there is sometimes slightly different. Not much, but slight differences, because the UK version of our FDA have different concepts of what's okay, what's not okay, what's legal, what's not legal, what's considered a drug, what's not considered a drug, what's considered a food, what's not considered a food. For some reason, this thing that we can buy anywhere here, over there, is a big no-no. It's a big deal. You need 2 years, and it's just, so we had been at it for years before we were able to get that bag done for the UK. Because even when you do an offer of a certain type of formula, we offer it, it could take 9 months before we get a reply back. So we have to just like wait for the reply, and that's okay. That's just the protocols. The FDA is no easier, but it's different, and it's also different in Canada. So they had to sort of change a few things here and there, or they allow a certain amount of, you know, whether it's a vitamins or chlorophyll level, their safety levels is slightly different. So then we have to sort of compensate and change the way is required for the UK. Our goal was to make sure that the benefits are exactly the same. The ratio, the macronutrients, you know, the blends is, so if we couldn't have this element or as much, make sure to take another thing like kale, and hence the kale to compensate. So, you know, we did that. And because it's such a complex formula, basically, it's a synergy of many ingredients, but if you change one, you change it all. So every time you tweak anything, they have to go in the lab and they have to test and test and test for what's the word? Reaction, for potential reaction, for toxicity level, to make sure that it does blend together. So it's a, you know, it's a big family what's in the shake, and there you go. It was difficult, but we did it, and we did the same with Canada. It was the same thing, and we were intending on going other places as well, but we had to stop at UK and Canada. We had to choose, because basically every other country's version of the FDA is different, and it's very challenging. So we did it. Now we have it down. And okay, I hope I answered this word.
That seriously is incredible. Like, now I feel like I need to fly over to the UK and just taste their Shakeology, just see.
Tastes the same. That's we
really?
made sure it was exactly. We did not want them to think that they were getting something different than here. So it's the same thing. Yeah, it's quite a ride, and the shake itself is not frozen. It's really constantly moving because of all that, because of the state of affair, as I always talk, as Darren talks about, the soil, the air, the water, and the amount of pesticide and herbicide that's all over the earth, how to make sure that some of it is not pollinated or through the winds, in our products. And oh my God, there's so many things we had to to steer away from, that we used to have in the shake that we had to eliminate. We couldn't find a pure source. Some of it we're trying to figure out if we can make our own, but that's a whole other business to make we're not farmers, right? But we're working on trying to see if we can be more vertical. We make association real bonds with farmers, with vendors. We really get to know them, they get to know us, and we try our best to have a grip on the potency and the quality and the purity of our products. So it's a lot of work. It is not like set in stone and then just machine making it.
Mm-hmm.
It really isn't. Even our processing is very kind, very gentle, so that it's sort of keeping everything that nature has to offer us and letting go and getting rid of everything that we don't want. And that's a very delicate process. That's very challenging. Once again, that's why it's part of the price of the Shakeology. It's things that you can't put on the bag, but it's expensive. It's a lot of work. And we love it and we thrive on it because we know that it's important, because it goes back to those kids and these allergies and sensitivities. And there's a lot of stuff that we scratch our head, like, what is that all about? It can't just be us that suddenly we're all wrong. Something's going on, and you know, this is why we're so dedicated to the purity of the product. And could we make it cheaper? We can make everything cheaper. Could the Daily Sunshine have been cheaper? Yes. You want cheaper? Go anywhere. Go get it. There's so much cheaper. There's a reason why it's cheaper. And so that's not what we wanted to do. We don't want to do cheap. We want to do the best that we know how. And I'm hoping, as I always say, I'm hoping that more companies do that. And I'm noticing that even in terms of clothes, like there's a company called Everlane, completely transparent. I try to buy as much as I can from them. There's a company called Wild Foods, and they're amazing too. And they have a place downtown here. And you know, you have to encourage each other. So this is why I never feel like I'm competing with anybody. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm trying to do the best that I can because I have a child, I have a family, I have been very ill. That was the purpose of the Shakeology for me. My kid was very challenged from the get-go with tons of stuff, purpose behind the Daily Sunshine. I work with people one-on-one. I've worked with people in groups for decades now. And I know what being sick is. I know what being not healthy is. And I know how much we can do about it. And same thing with Darren, same thing with Carl. This is what the platform is about. The platform, you know, is an incredible platform because I was talking to Darren earlier. We finally had time to like really just chat and catch up as friends. And it felt so good. And it reminded me of how much compatibility we have. And, you know, it was sort of a partnership, a love at first sight, and the knowing of the heart of each other. And then knowing our stories, it came from not understanding why we're ill, getting more sick, sicker and sicker and sicker, freaking out, getting no solution, no help, nobody understanding what's going on, or not liking the helps that were being offered. And then extending ourselves, stretching ourselves, looking for solutions, finding them, incorporating them in our life, getting better, people looking at us saying, hey, what did you do? Sharing, then making a living with that. It became part of my life, my protocol with my shakes that I used to do with all my clients, as well as the diet, as well as the exercise, as well as a mental, emotional, and spiritual aspect of it that this is beyond the scope of this call, but it's big time important when I work with people that come to me for that. And same thing with Darren. And then we paid forward. And so when Carl created this platform, not only in terms of health, not only in terms of finance, because we need it. We need abundance. We need to find a way to be more like our own CEO so that we have a say in how we provide for our family and ourselves, as opposed to being a victim of what's going on with companies, because it's a wild world nowadays. And so if you can be in charge of your health, in charge of your financial health, and in terms of also your spiritual health, meaning that you are doing something that is helping others. You're not pushing crack. You are helping. You are telling them to move. You are helping them feed themselves good stuff. And you are providing it in a cheaper way at the end of the day, because it's in their home. through streamlining to the Beachbody platform. So they just can work at their house. If they don't have a car, they don't have to drive anywhere. If their car breaks down, they don't have to go anywhere. You know, it's so important to make your home the health stop. Yeah. And that's what caused desire, to make it super accessible wherever you are in the world, whatever your state of affair is, and to bring abundance in every possible way. You feel good about what you do. You believe in what you do. You lived it. You're a product of, you know, you're a postcard of the product, and then you push it forward. Then you help others, and that's what my story was. My whole life, it was Darren's story. It was Carl's story, and it's now your stories. And I don't know. To me, the peer support, in a world where so many unhealthy things are being pushed and shoved in our faces, in our kids' faces, to have more say and to experience the ability to help oneself and others is so fulfilling. And then to see my kid witnessing that what I do for a living is helping others in all ways. So to me, it's very important that I teach him not to be threatened by someone else's well-being. So often we're threatened because other people are prettier or richer or more famous or more whatever. And we are threatened. Somehow we were taught that if others has a lot of stuff, we will have less. And it's so not true. And it's when you're scared and angry and feeling like you're not good enough, that's when you become a dangerous person. And so what I want my kid to see, that I love helping another woman be gorgeous, be healthy, be financially stable, the importance of what they eat and the moving and all that. And that's all he sees all day long. So it's going to become part of his life. So he will grow up to be a healthy adult and to know that there's a lot he can do on a physical, on an emotional, and on a spiritual level, because it's not just about me. It's not, what do I need? Give me. I want. You're there to help me. I need something from you. It's about, no, when you give to others, you get so much more. And when you give, it's never a waste. And when you give, you create intimacy and relationship and support system. They help you back when you help them. And so to try to unwind this deep sort of DNA thing about being threatened by each other's beauty and well-being, which is dangerous, very dangerous. And I don't like it at all. So I love the Beachbody platform, because here's a lot of women, men, women, there to help you get better, get on that pedestal. No, I'll get on, go. Like, we're all there, and we all are noticing that we're all doing well without hurting anybody else. Do no harm. You know, judge unless, don't be judged. Don't judge, don't be judged. All these things. I don't want to get Christian, because it's not about being Christian here. It's about the basic human fundamentals. And I feel like we can do all of that. So this is why when I sense bickering, or when I, any questions that leads about comparing with another product, I don't want to do that. Yeah. It's not about, I'm not comparing myself to a 20-year-old. I'm not comparing to another product. You like another product, it's okay. You do your thing, go. Whatever it is, I'm doing my thing. That's what I do. You go do your thing. Or if you relate to my thing, then we do it together. That's all it's about. It's never about pushing another being down or judging others for not getting me. Oh, everybody should understand me. Everybody should totally get and believe everything I say. What is that? So when somebody rejects me, it's okay. All I care is I'm getting healthier. I'm teaching my kid to be healthier. And I'm creating tools that I feel very good about. And that I see other people benefiting from. It's a blessing, and I never get tired of it. So, that's what we're about. And the Daily Sunshine, the Shakeology, the 3-Day Refresh, the Boost, everything is about that. Empowering your well-being and your sense of community, and knowing that we can empower you, teach you to empower yourself. That's all. That's all it is.
That's perfect. I don't think I could um, say it better myself. That's our team's mission. Is really and truly to just empower women to be, the best version of themselves. And we think that this is a part of it because this is what works for us. But can we like to give a round of applause, round of applause for Isabelle. Thank you so much. I know that it's got to be dinner time at your house for your family. I want to, honor that time for you and them, but we cannot thank you enough from the bottom of our hearts for the love and passion that goes into, everything that's been and everything that is to come. We appreciate it so incredibly much. So from the bottom of our hearts and our kids' hearts, thank you, Isabelle.
Thank you so much. Right back at all of you, people from the UK. Oh man, guys, we love you. We're so excited to have you on board. It was such a pleasure to be over there. I'm so glad I could make it. I brought my kid. He loved it. He spent a lot of times at places that were not really where I wanted him to be. There's some kind of great arcade somewhere. And I was like, yeah, I would have liked you to have seen the castles, but that's okay. It's okay, Mom, we'll come back. So, but it was a pleasure to be there and to share something that is so dear to me. And I hope I go back there at some point soon.
Yeah.
And so, team, everyone, welcome. And I hope you enjoy being part of this. It's a long-term relationship for us. Mm-hmm. So I just started saying these things like, it's easy to be in love and all romantic for the first year or two. It's a whole other ball game when it's 15 years later with 3 kids.
That's right.
But it's a deeper love. It's a more committed love, and it's a love that evolves and gets deeper. And that's how I feel about Beachbody. It's challenging at times, and like any other workplace, you will have your challenges, and but those are everywhere. And challenges is life. That's part of what living is. It's like we grow from them or we get bitter, and so we decide to grow from it. And so I hope it's a long-term partnership with its ups and downs, but always better and better through it, healthier and healthier through it, more and more solid through it, a better sense of worth through it, and a lot of joy, I hope. So thank you. I'm as grateful as you just expressed it. So bless you all, and I hope I see everybody soon in another Zoom call.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Isabelle. Bye-bye.